Friends 2.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another week. Here we are, Wednesday night, with with Victoria Fire tonight.
And how's it going? It looks like Andy's still connecting.
Poor Andy. I didn't plan it this way.
It happens every week.
No, I did it on purpose. I'm like, he's gonna be muted. So. Our bassist should be joining us shortly. His name's Corey. I think he's actually putting his son to bed, but he should be with us any minute.
Too cool. Well, I'm Randy, and I'm in Oklahoma City.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm John. I'm in Topeka, Kansas.
Nice to meet you.
And you are Caitlin?
I am Caitlin. I am I am part of Victoria Fire, and we are from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Right,
Andy, I don't know. That's taken a long time to connect, Andy. Look at him. He's like,
Andy, can you hear us?
I'm guessing he can't hear us.
I'm guessing
this is kind of great. This is awesome.
He might have froze up.
It may be.
Yeah, when in doubt, like I usually exit Zoom and then try to come back in. That seems to work every time. I don't know if it'll work
right
every time, but let's see. He may have texted me.
That was going to be my suggestion, but I don't think he can hear us.
Let me text him and we'll see.
Looks like did he log in with something else? Because look at that.
Now there's two of him.
It does look froze.
The fun trials and tribulations of a weekly podcast right here. He has movement now, so maybe he's not totally froze. He just can't get the sound.
I just texted him and mentioned that he should try his phone. Wait, see him. I know it's really a new thing. I think getting used to like using Zoom and all the other what's I gonna say, video platforms. I know it took me a hot second, but I think I'm there now.
Absolutely. Usually the whole thing is you're on mute. You're on mute.
Yes, exactly.
So it looks like he's there now, but he's not there. There. Can you hear us, Andy? No.
Oh no, back to that.
Wait a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Ooh, there he is.
All
right.
Man, the long-waited, anticipated Andy.
Right? I don't know if it's going to be worth the wait. Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know. It's something about Zoom. I always have trouble with Zoom. Everything else seems to work okay. But yeah, just magically it's working now. So I think we're good.
All right. Cool. I was like, oh, Andy's in the waiting room again.
So what we should have done while we were having that issue and we were trying to get that up is we should have played that little clip of the song Fire is what we should have done. So maybe we should do that while we have another connecting to audio. We'll play that 30-second clip.
Okay, we can do that.
That's good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Just a second here. right. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So I came across that song whenever I messaged you guys, probably about a month ago. One of my late night, I'm searching music and it popped up and I was like, what's this? And I was like, I'm gonna need more of this. So I had to listen to it a couple times and started following you guys and see what you were up to. And I was like, no, we gotta get them on the podcast. So let's make this happen. And now here we are.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you. I was waiting for one of the band guys to do it, but they obviously don't care about me. So
Oh,
but much
we
appreciated.
care.
No, I know you guys do, but I guess that's the traditional curse of the bassist. I guess no one cares. I get it.
They need you. Don't worry about it. They need you.
That's right.
Thank you, Andy.
Just enough. Yeah, we need you.
We
just
need you,
enough.
Corey. We need you.
Yeah, Caitlin's a lot nicer than I am.
So,
Yeah,
Andy,
fair
what do
enough. I apologize.
what-
I was a little bit late. The Zoom client made me update. It was the whole thing. So.
we've been getting that the last 2 weeks. They're like, it's saying I got to update, then it makes logs me out, and then I get back in, and it's all kind of crazy. It just does what it wants to do.
So Caitlin got us started a little bit that you guys are out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How'd you guys get started? Like, how'd you guys get together? Give us some backstory.
Caitlin, you or me? Your call.
Well,
I like how it wasn't even a conceit. This is why I don't even answer. It wasn't
You were an afterthought, for the band, and then for the
literally
band.
was not even a consideration. So that's, if you're wondering why I don't say anything, that's why. Thank you, Andy.
I think how it really started. I think I was kind of distraught over breaking up with my first band. This is the first band that I was ever in. And I thought, you know what, like, I'm gonna try to start a new project. So I had no idea what I was doing. And I found a couple other members, and I also found Andy actually through Craigslist. So that actually worked out pretty well. So I met Andy, and we jammed. It went really well. And I think we realized, like, the guys that we were playing with, okay, maybe we weren't all like vibing. So
Right.
Andy had known Corey for a long time, and he brought Corey into the picture. And that's pretty much how we started out.
Did the other bass player think he needed to talk or something, or that's I was like, Corey, you're so quiet. Come on, do what we say.
Corey's definitely not quiet, believe me. But no, I think it was just one of those things. Like, there wasn't any problems real. It just maybe wasn't the right fit for everybody, so it kind of broke off, and like a lot of projects do, kind of originally, and then
No, there were tons of problems.
Well, maybe
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, either way, but no, me and Caitlin definitely, like, we definitely had something going, and we had pretty similar interest and had a sound in mind, I think, and so it was just a matter of kind of trying to build something from there. And I brought Corey in. Me and Corey have played in a lot of bands together. So we go way back. It was the first band I ever played lead guitar in. I was joined, we both went to Penn State, and I joined a band there. And that was kind of how I got my my start playing lead guitar. And then we've just always seemed to wind up in the same projects. And it happened again here. And went through the drummer, doing some drummer auditions, and had a few people that were maybe going to work out and then didn't pan out after a few practices. Just kind of, drummers tend to disappear sometimes, that kind of thing. So took a few months, and but we ended up finding our initial drummer, Dan, who things started to really pick up, and we put together 6 or 7 songs, enough to get out and start gigging, and we started playing out in 2019, and we had a really strong start, and we played almost a year until the whole COVID thing happened. And then we were in the studio, and things kind of took some time there, and Dan ended up leaving to pursue some other things. So, but we found our new drummer Dean, who's unfortunately not able to join us tonight because he's working. But yeah, that's kind of the basic gist of it, I guess.
Awesome. So do you guys find that you guys have kind of the same musical interests, or are you guys just all over the map that just kind of add to the production of each song and stuff like that? I know some people like to contrast, and it's like, okay, let's meet in the middle somewhere. You like a nice melody, I like it rough, but
Right.
Yeah. So do you guys have the same types of music on your Spotify, or do you guys go a different direction?
I would say yes and no. I think there are a lot of bands like we all like. But I think we also have a lot of bands that like I know I'll play something and these guys are, I mean, if they really heard what I listened to, I don't think they'd want me in the band. Like I know, like
See, I like doing these things because I get to learn all kinds of things. So tell us, Caitlin, reveal your
so
secrets.
when I'm like I love like rock, I love metal, but when I'm really stressed out, like I'll turn on like some like Sarah McLachlan or some Natalie Merchant, or even if I want to drive my husband crazy, I'll turn on some Enya because I just need to like.
Oh, wait, whoa! What's wrong with? Yeah, you're naming good musicians here. I love Natalie Merchant. That sounds amazing.
I know. I know this is. I feel like this is almost like a therapy session, but I'm opening up.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So and I know you guys like a lot of different stuff that I probably don't listen to as well.
Yeah, I think well, Caitlin turned me on to a lot of the female fronted like rock bands that I didn't, honestly, I wasn't at the time that we kind of started getting together, because I mean I wasn't opposed to a female singer. I just, it wasn't like on the radar. I wasn't looking for it. But then when went over to Caitlin's and started jamming, I was like, oh, this is something interesting that I wasn't maybe seeing initially, like when I was writing some riffs, but then I kind of started to hear how that could really be something unique. So, and then just getting to meet her and a lot of the bands that she was listening to, like In This Moment and Stitched Apart and stuff like
nice.
that.
Nice.
Which now I'm a huge fan of, and I started going down the rabbit hole, and now I listen to a lot of those types of bands. But at the time when we first started, I really didn't listen to some of that stuff. So yeah, it's always cool to meet other musicians and hear what they're listening to, because
really cool.
Open you up to all kinds of new stuff.
See, that's kind of what John has done to me. He is like, I love female fronted bands, and I'm like, not so much. But I've really started to. He's brought a lot of really good ones to me, and I'm kind of like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I know
John.
what you guys mean, but it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking of like the most uncharitable way to take this. So this is probably my like lawyerly training here, because like I just want to jump on Andy. It's like, oh, so it'd be fair to say that you just didn't care about women and think they couldn't make good music, isn't that right, Andy?
I knew he would do that. I knew he would do that.
Okay, I saw the look on your face where I knew what you were thinking.
Yeah.
just call it ignorance. It wasn't that I didn't like it, or I didn't think I would like it. I guess I didn't.
No, I know what you mean. I actually feel that
totally
way about
agree.
a lot of like the local stuff. Or not even like local, but necessarily stuff that's not major label or getting a ton of play out there. Especially my being older, or all of us really, except Caitlin's the young one of the crew. But I just don't have the time to sit there and listen to like Spotify or random and just try to pick out things. So like I kind of like what Kate was saying, I think we have the same kind of general baseline that we like the same kind of thing. Like, I guess if I just had to distill it, like kind of a song like Fire, just that hard kind of driving, very riffy, crunchy type thing. Andy and I were both like big fans of Alice in Chains and Deftones. Like I really like that heavy style, but especially Alice in Chains is almost more like sludge or metal. It's like real. So we all like that kind of thing, and then just hearing what people that like that same kind of general bass line, but where they spin off from there. It's kind of the same like what Caitlin and Andy been saying. I've just heard so many bands that they both liked. I was like, okay, I probably never would have listened to it, but for them mentioning it. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'd say that's one of the coolest parts about being a band for me, and why I'd always probably want to do it, even if we're not, making inroads, which is obviously the goal. Try to get more people to listen to it, but just like even carving out a couple hours to go chill and hang out and jam, and somebody to say, hey, have you heard this song by this band? You'd probably like it. It's just something that I really like.
Right on. Right on. Do you guys have like a special songwriting recipe that you guys follow, or how do you go about your songwriting?
We force Andy to do all of it, and then I get mad and then I just say, if I don't like it, I'm like, Andy, do better. And that's kind of the songwriting.
That's surprisingly accurate so far.
That's
Although I would
incredible.
say, I mean, I'll let Andy jump on that, but I think one of the cool things about having Dean, you come on board, and this is not Dan or Andy said that Dan left the band, and one of the reasons he left, and we're still good friends with Dan, and we like him and all. It's he even when he joined, he had like a little bit of trepidation. He's like, this isn't really my style of music, but I just like hanging out with you guys and like playing the same stuff. So now Dean is kind of more on the same page as us, and I think like even our last couple of times that we've jammed out, we just all started doing a more collaborative type thing, which I'm looking forward to. The downside to that, though, is I like having Andy do most of the work, because again, I get to just yell and be an ass about it if I don't like it. But now, if I have to contribute something, then I don't take the criticism well at all. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag.
All true.
That's like how we do this show, isn't it, Randy?
Yeah, this feels like home.
Yeah.
Randy does everything, and I just
No.
There has to be one, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like our writing process is actually like even recently has changed a little bit. I don't know if there's like an exact recipe, but initially like Andy would send me like some skeletons of like some songs that he had written on the guitar, and I put some lyrics, vocals, melodies to them. But in the studio, a lot of what we did was kind of rewrite a lot of the vocal parts. And recently, Andy and I were working together in the studio, and we kind of just kept like building off of each other, like back and forth. So I think that we've kind of found something new, like we keep finding new ways to write.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and there was one of our songs that we're working on. It's called "Stand Down." I came up with like a vocal melody, and I sent it to Andy, and he came up with like the guitar riffs for it, which is really cool.
That's neat. It usually doesn't go that way. Usually it starts either with a guitar riff, and then you hum along because there's no words at the beginning. It's just kind of a melody, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to add some words to that melody, and that's pretty cool to be able to write a song off of the lyrics. That's different.
Yeah, he's talented.
The funny part about that is, we've since kind of rewritten the melody for that one, so we still have the guitar part for that chorus piece, but now we have a different chorus. But it's constantly evolving. I mean, I think you start with just basic building blocks and take it as far as you can. And honestly, I think a lot of times having outside ears, like a new, you bring in Corey. He, initially, like me and Caitlin had some stuff. We bring in Corey. He brings another element to it. He kind of opens up a whole new avenue. And then the same thing now with Dean, and also with our producer that we've been working with. Everybody kind of adds a little something to it. I mean, it has to start somewhere, but because a lot of these our songs on our first EP here, I've had for years, and a couple of them I even was going to put on I did a solo EP a couple years ago, and I had some songs that I didn't end up finishing, but I brought those along and kind of into the mix at the beginning with me and Caitlin, and I had a totally different melody worked out, and I let her kind of start with a blank slate on, in that part, and she just rewrote something. She wrote something from scratch that was totally different than anything I would have ever heard, and I wouldn't have been able to write it that way. So it was really cool to, I'd been kicking the same kind of songs, the riffs around for a while, and kind of not loving what was going on with my melody parts, and then she brings something totally new to it. So yeah, it's definitely, that's the cool part of the whole writing process.
Really cool. I just had this weird idea. Corey, why don't you come up with something and just a bass line and have Caitlin write something to it? Let's see if it works that way.
Yeah.
And let us know.
I'm barely allowed to talk, let alone.
It's true.
What about
To be fair though, he did write the bass line for one of our newest ones, so we will give him some credit.
Oh, kitty time!
Oh, sweet.
Speaking of your newest ones, you guys have a new song coming out on Friday called "Let You Go."
Yep.
You want to give us some background to that one before it hits the streets?
I think that's actually a good example of how you guys were kind of talking about like the iterative process of going into the studio and how things change. Because originally that song was called "Low," and it had a different, I don't know if feel is the right word, but it was definitely different. And like, it's really cool that how it's evolved, but I'm also very dumb. And so I still hear the original when I'm playing. And so like when Caitlin is not singing what I perceive as the right thing, or, we're doing something different, I get all flustered. So I very much look forward to that being a disaster live when we do it, that I'll go back to the original one once I get into my I'm just playing mode. But yeah, if you guys want to talk about that, I think that's actually a really good example of how being in the studio has really kind of helped us. And maybe just for me in particular, I never really did any kind of serious recording before, and I think that's been really great, just to have everything recorded and really listen to it, and you get to hear every little thing that you're doing. Because a lot of times when we're playing live, we tend to be energetic, and like you can just kind of miss all those little nuances things, and then you hear it and it's almost like hearing it for the first time, and you're like, oh, it gives you better ideas of what you should do or where you should take it. Again, I think this song's a good example of that, if you two want to talk about that.
Yeah, it was actually the first song that me and Caitlin started working on together, because to be honest with you, when we first met up, and it was like we were all new people, and it was all Craigslist people together. I just was trying to come up with kind of a simple riff, a simple chorus part that only had a couple chords and just kind of had a vibe to it. And the song's definitely evolved a lot since then. We've put a lot of work into making it, what it is. Hopefully what people hear when it comes out here on Friday. But it started off from a real simple spot, and yeah, the vocal melodies and everything have changed, and Caitlin's done a great job adding a lot of good harmony parts, and we've changed some sections, and I've changed the lead part, and yeah, it's definitely went through some evolution.
Yeah, I think like the meaning, or at least, when I was writing the lyrics, the meaning was the same. And it definitely felt really personal. The lyrics are about being in relationships with, I guess, or a relationship or relationships, with someone who is toxic. Just someone who really is sorry. Hi, buddy. Someone that kind of takes pleasure from tearing you down, and ultimately coming to that realization of like, this is someone like someone that needs to leave my life, someone I have to let go, but also kind of that little kick of letting that person know, like, this is how I feel, this is what you did, it's time to say goodbye.
So this is going to be the Victoria Fire's version of Carly, is it Carly Simon and the You're So Vain? We'll never find out because I'm not going to ask, and we'll never find out who it's about. Hopefully, it's not me, but I'm still around, so it can't be me.
How funny.
So before we run short of time, because I don't want us to run out of time before we get this out in the world, what's the best place to find you guys online? Like the best, like one-stop shop for everything, Victoria Fire.
For now, it'll be the Facebook page. We have, that's probably where we're most active, and we get the most, it seems to be the most fan interaction so far. We have a link tree that you can click on there that has all our other links. We are working on a more official website. We have this is really kind of the start for us. We've been around for a few years, but this year is kind of where we're really getting going. So there's a lot of stuff that we're still building here, and so website's one of them.
Yeah, we're on Instagram too.
Yeah, COVID just killed us with it. Just put a stop to everything that we were doing, and it's almost like we're restarting.
Upcoming shows. What do you guys have on the horizon? Well, there's one that I really want to talk to you guys about, but I want to hear what you have first.
We have one. So our first one that we have coming up for the year is March 3rd up in Erie at the Sandbar. We're playing with a couple other bands, one from Pittsburgh, Animus, and a great metal band from Erie, Storms Within. They actually invited us to come up and do it. So yeah, that's our first one for the year. And then we're going to be doing a Wednesday spot at the Bridge Bar, which is in Pittsburgh here, on Wednesday, the April 12th. And then we have one coming up at the Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh with the awesome band, The Rumors.
There it was.
Yeah, I think that's one he wants, because I think I saw that you mentioned that one. I think you tagged us or something on that. So yeah, so we're playing that one. That's May 3rd, here in Hard Rock Cafe Pittsburgh. And then we have some others that we haven't announced a few of these yet. Honestly, there's still some details getting worked out, but we have a couple other shows. We'll be playing in Ohio in August, some other bands that we know, and another spot that hasn't been announced yet in July. So mostly in Pittsburgh, Erie, and in Ohio right now, but we are, we're trying to expand and keep booking things that are within like a 2-mile radius for now. Just that's kind of our goal for this year, and then see where it goes.
Wait, did you say 2-mile?
2 hour, I meant to say.
Oh, you said
Yeah, 2 mile.
I caught that too.
Funny,
and I was like,
funny
Why are you
anecdote.
joking?
that's not very ambitious.
Yeah,
That's why I started
anecdote.
laughing so much. I think I know where you're going with this, Andy.
Yeah, me and Corey were in a band not all that long ago where the singer would only go 2 miles, and that was pretty much why it never worked. So maybe that must have been a subconscious kind of thing there.
Oh wow!
I very much wanted to cover that show at the Rumors. They are friends of mine. We've had them on the show as well, but they're amazing. I love them to death, and you guys will have a blast with them.
We're excited to meet them.
Looking forward to
and play
it.
with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, definitely.
I just went blank. Had a thought. Gone.
Happens to me all day.
Oh yeah, that's all the
I'm
time.
checking that one off.
That's my entire life.
EPs, full length albums, future.
We'll let Andy take that.
Okay, I didn't want to take. I was trying not to hog everything here, but yeah, we're getting ever so closer to finishing up our. We're calling it an EP, but it might turn into an album depending on how many. We might add another song, and it might classify as an album. I'm not sure yet, but we have been hammering away for quite some time. There's been some delays and things, just people's health and just personal issues and just a lot of stuff that comes up. And then there was COVID, and but yeah, we have we got Fire out. We have Let You Go's coming out Friday. That's our first 2 singles, obviously, and then we'll be releasing a full EP that has 7 tracks total, 6 songs total. One of them's an intro. We're still debating the name, but we should have that finalized soon. So
I
would say
don't know what's. I
expect
mean,
it by the springtime.
Now,
I think
maybe this is
Corey should get to name it.
well, thank you.
That's
Because
dangerous. That's dangerous.
this is the discussion I keep pushing for. It's just Corey is awesome, and it's just me on the cover going,
We have that picture, remember? We have a picture of you doing that.
Yeah, we did do. You have one of those in the photo shoot, so we already have.
yeah, and no, there you go. I was thinking ahead.
We haven't forgotten about it. Yeah, that if we let Corey just handle all of this stuff, that's exactly what he would do. It's a dangerous game. We have to play with it.
The
So,
Corey band.
I will say a lot. I think, what we've been working on, while, some of the time that it's taken might be, frustrating. I think it's going to be well worth it. I'm hoping that, we have good reception, but I think reception, was that the right word to use?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
got
told
it.
you, it's the end of the day and my brain is fried. But
We hope people think we good.
we
There
good.
you go.
We've been
Less
working
words,
hard.
better.
And I think the wait will be worth it.
Yeah, I don't want to make it sound. Yeah, we're excited about it. It's taken a little while, but I definitely think it's going to be worth it. And the songs have evolved since we started working on them. That's the cool part is even though we've been hammering away, and at times it's like, oh man, we've been working on this song for a while. It takes a turn, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, that's what we were looking for all this time. Now it makes sense. Like, sometimes it just takes. I'm sure if you talk to enough musicians, you're going to hear this. Like, some of the songs will sit there for a while, and they'll kind of lose their edge, but then it just takes a fresh look and maybe some time off, and then like, okay, this is what we needed here, and then all of a sudden it turns into something awesome. So that's what we're hoping to get out of the rest of them here, and we're close. We're very close on the rest.
Yeah, and I think that, I kind of like you hit that like point where the acceleration starts, and like it's almost kind of like downhill in terms of our momentum, and I think we're close to that because we're all really excited about getting this done. And then we've probably already started working on like 3 new ones with the idea of like, all right, we're not gonna the next one's not gonna be as long to come out, especially because we've just learned so much about how to do it right, because this is really, I think, the first experience for most of us. I mean, maybe not Caitlin with your old band, but for the rest of us, for sure.
Yeah, there's a project management factor that goes into recording an album that I think a lot of bands probably take for granted at the beginning, and depending on if you want to get it right, sometimes it just does take X amount more time than you expected, but it's worth it. As long as it's worth it in the end, which we know it will be.
That's awesome.
Major influences from each of you, like Caitlin, obviously you're a singer. Do you have some vocalists that you aspire to?
Yeah.
Maybe not be like, but like you draw from?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always been such a huge fan of Flyleaf. One of my favorite bands. And they actually just plan to reunite for some festivals. I don't think any that I'll be able to go to, but definitely like Flyleaf. I remember when I was in high school and Evanescence started coming out. But then I also love like Chevelle and Seether, and yeah, those are just a couple, but yeah, definitely a lot though. I think there are more bands. I can't think of them right now, but those are a few.
I was waiting for you to go Ginger.
Oh,
have you heard her? Oh my god!
Yeah,
yes.
That's a band I need to get more into for sure.
Just insane.
Yeah. I think when I was in high school, I remember I had one of the OTAP albums, and that was the first time, like, not the first time I heard screaming, but it was such this like powerful, deep scream. And I'm like, that's badass. Like, I want to be able to do that.
Andy, how about you? You have like that favorite guitar player?
Oh man, I mean, I'm always working to find new bands, and I'm always adding stuff to the Spotify playlist. But I mean, I always do go back to there's probably 5 or 10 bands that I always go back to. Tool is one. Deftones are, as the both of them will know, Deftones is my favorite band. That's usually where I draw a lot of influences. But Alice in Chains is a huge one. I was always a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I mean, my dad had those vinyl records, and I wore those out. And Rage Against the Machine was always a big one. Just the riffs Tom Morello comes up with was always like a big draw to me. So those are probably my biggest hitters. But there's so many other bands that I listen to. I mean, there's new ones I'm discovering all the time. But yeah, I'd stick with those is my core, I guess.
Right on. Those new bands, like you need to send us links, and we'll get them on here too.
I'm probably not the guy who discovered, I'm usually busy when you're working on your own band and doing all that stuff. That's why it's crazy to me, because there's bands that like I've been trying to check out for years, but it's just like something always comes up, and like you just kind of forget about it. You're like, oh yeah, I wanted to get into them 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's always that, but
I do that a lot too. Corey, how about you?
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, a lot of the bands these Andy and Caitlin have mentioned I'm into, but for me, I think I would just say, as a kid growing up in the 90s, I started playing guitar because of Nirvana, and I actually really love, like, I can still remember hearing like the Lithium bass line from Nevermind, and just loving that groove. And Chris Novoselic, I think, is an incredibly underrated bass player, and us being a three-piece, I kind of aspire to that kind of thing where he gets overshadowed a lot in that band, because obviously with Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain,
Right.
not. And I feel simpatico with that, because I obviously get very much overshadowed because of my personality, which is fair. But just his, like, the way that he just didn't follow it's so easy as a bass to just kind of do the root notes, or just make it incredibly simple, but to add in those little kind of flourishes and touches, it's kind of what I aspire to. Kind of this the same way as, like, I'm really take a lot of inspiration from his stuff, and Ben Shepherd from Soundgarden. Absolutely love Soundgarden. Ben actually came up with a fair number of like riffs and songs for them, and he just always seemed like a cool dude. And like, you're just watching his live performances, like the dude's coming out in like a trench coat and just looks like he woke up, which I also aspire to. But then Andy yells at me and makes me actually look nice. So yeah, definitely. I think if I had to pick two, I mean, Andy's like Tool. I mean, I love Justin Chancellor, and like listening to guys like that. Hearing the things that like Les Claypool did on a bass that I could never in a million years ever do, but just hearing the possibilities of the instrument was always something that I love. But if I had to pick two, it would be those guys, for just kind of fitting like the groove and kind of role that I imagine for myself in a good song would be like kind of what they do.
Awesome.
Excellent. I know that you guys don't care, but I'm going to tell you my favorite band is Kiss. There you go, Randy. It's
really?
Wow. I didn't really expect that one.
We almost made it all the way through, and here's the story. Somehow, John's favorite band is Kiss. Somehow,
hey, you and Dimebag Darrell, man.
Somehow,
are you gonna get buried in the Kiss coffin?
He's probably got it. Yes.
I sleep in it every night.
But somehow it always comes up every single week on our show, and it's usually by one of the bands, with a little bit of prodding by John. Oh, really? I wonder, what's your favorite guitar player or your favorite singer? And of course they're going to go to the classics. They'll go to the classics and say Kiss, and he'll go, of course. So yeah. And I think he felt like he was running out of time, and he had to get a Kiss jab in there.
Yeah.
I definitely had to get it in the show. So
as you should.
definitely what I had to do.
I
See,
would add
normally,
I would add Megadeth too. I'm a huge Megadeth fan. I just see the
oh,
shirt.
excellent.
There you go.
Great
Oh,
shirt.
I love Megadeth. Peace
Ah.
Sells was one of the first like tricky bass lines that I like wanted to tackle. To just that, it's such a badass riff. I mean, they have obviously a lot of others, but I can remember even just hearing that and learning. I learned about Megadeth from the intro to MTV News because I was like, "What is that? That awesome!"
Yeah.
It's Peace Sells.
A lot of people did.
Yeah,
The,
absolutely.
one of their artists, like for their album artwork, I think for one of their later albums, is now suing the band. I didn't see the whole story. I just caught a glimpse of it today. Like it was on like Blabbermouth or one of those type things where I was like, "Hey, that sucks, but I don't have time to read this right now, so I'll get back to it."
Dave Mustaine will find a way around it. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
He's very industrial. So industrious. I mean, he's kind of.
Well, I made sure that I got your guys' link out there to your Facebook. Normally we have two bands on, and we kind of weren't sure.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
We lost him.
John, you
Oh,
locked up
no.
on it, sir.
it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, now we really need to know. You have to tune in next week, maybe.
What happened to the other band?
We don't know.
Where are they?
John, you're frozen. I don't even think he knows. He's still probably just rattling
What if
on
this
about
is? What if this is a
talking
big
about
reveal?
Kiss.
And it's, what if this is a big reveal and the next band is Kiss?
No,
That
we
would
don't
be
know.
like the greatest. He really got us on this one.
Oh, we're back.
We're
Maybe.
back.
What?
There
There.
it is.
You
No
disconnected.
audio.
Yeah, the whole thing, like,
Oh, there it
like
is.
all your faces were frozen.
No, just yours.
No,
we
no,
were
on my
we were
screen,
still
all-
talking.
I could hear you guys. I heard everything. I could hear you guys. I was throwing some chat into our little chat room there because I was like, everything seems fine. Now I totally forgot what I was talking about.
Well,
That was awesome. I
kinda
mean,
set
that
you
was
up for
like a
failure. You have
cliffhanger.
to bring Kiss out now.
Oh, so anyway, yeah, I was talking about that we normally have two bands on, and we've tried them before, and they never got in with us, and they're still not in tonight. So we just figured we'd keep you guys talking.
Yeah.
Yay.
You can tell we like to talk. Corey doesn't mind it, that's for sure.
Oh.
That's because the rest of my family and friends like just tuned me out. So when you have like a semi-captive audience, I can just get to rant for a while, which is nice.
That's what we're here for.
That's exactly right.
Randy, you got more random stuff, I know.
No, really, I don't.
Ah, okay.
Well, I don't think Randy threw out his answer.
Yeah, we didn't hear your favorites, I don't think.
Mine's kind of. I'm all over the map. I
He
really
is.
am.
These are
Yeah.
going to be guilty pleasures because you don't want to actually say them.
You're right. Let's
Okay.
just say that we have interviewed Air Supply on our show.
Wow.
They were awesome. And it was really cool.
You know they're touring again, right?
No.
Yeah,
I
there's a
didn't.
show going through Kansas City. I know.
Oh, cool. But it
Yeah,
was
good for them.
the craziest thing was all these bands that hard rock bands and everything that were friends with us and we'd had on. They're like, dude, you guys are having Air Supply. Those guys are awesome. All these metal guys just going Air Supply. We're like, what?
I really like Air Supply too, and in fact, Andy, you may have a vague recollection of this, but as is my want, I did kind of like some goofy things, and like we're old enough that we went to college, like there was still like a ride share board, for people looking to, and I wanted to get somebody that wasn't a dud, so I thought I'd just put up something weird, and I put up a thing that said looking for somebody going back to Pittsburgh, and I said my only two rules are there will be no talking, and we will only listen to Air Supply. And I figured that would be like you'd get somebody that would like get where I was going with it, but like I was like half serious about it. I'm like, no, I legitimately really like Air
That
Supply.
would be kind of cool.
That'd be the best car ride.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things out right now. I've always been a big fan of Papa Roach.
Mhm.
And Ice Nine Kills is doing some crazy shit. I'm just all over the place. So gosh, it's really hard. Yeah, I really like the classics. I mean, I'm an 80s guy, so Van Halen, Warrant, Poison. I mean, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But then I get what's happening right now as well, which is really cool. So I'm seeing how things are progressing and the directions things are going, and I don't want to be left behind in any way, shape, or form. But you know, I just like good music. That's all it comes down to. I mean, country. I've got country on my playlist. I mean, just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of actually how I am too. Like I don't even like I couldn't name one genre that I don't like. 'Cause there's probably something that is, as long as it makes me feel good, I don't care what. Like
Absolutely.
I don't rule out anything. Like
Mhm.
um, yeah, I hear you. I'm the same way. I think that's one of the cool things I like about being in a band. Like is it kind of forces me to go out and listen to some bands, like especially when we're playing shows,
Mhm.
because it's you have like an actual reason to go out. You're like, all right, I'm committing to this. I'm going out. Obviously, we're playing, but then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm also going to stick around and hear the other bands that if I may or may not know them. I'll obviously check them out ahead of time. But like even just seeing all those different live performances and just like hanging out and chatting with people, you get exposed to a lot of stuff that
Hmm.
you don't necessarily would otherwise. So that's one of the things that I actually like about being in a band that's originals only. Like Andy and I were,
Yeah.
we met doing like covers and made a good chunk of money with some of the bands that we were in. But like I actually just like being like I have no expectations of making money with the band, but it's a fun thing to do, and just getting to hear a bunch of new music that I wouldn't have heard before is one of the great benefits of it.
Yep. Yep.
And you kind of get to do what you want, which is cool.
Yeah.
Now, except Andy, because we yell at him to do what I want to do. So that's
True. True.
I take it in stride. What else can I do?
see, it's kind of like I mean, I love Van Halen and Michael Anthony was their bassist, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, great singer, incredible singer. But
Uh-huh.
he had some good bass lines. But I love like so many of their songs just open up with like just like an E, like a dude, dude, dude. I'm like, all right, Andy, now you come up with an Eddie type riff over top of this. That's your job. I'll play the
I don't know about that. You never want to play the open note riff.
That's true. That's true.
You'll yell at me if I make you try to play that. But sometimes that's what's the most effective.
Yeah, we have to release Corey's pizza song. He wrote during practice, he wrote a song about, was it pepperoni pizza?
No, you're ruining the creative. You're tumbling the message. See, the pizza song is going to
It was
be
so
a
good.
big hit if we can get it on the record. I think we should do
We're
it.
gonna let Corey. You're gonna have to let Corey have his own, side band so that he can. He has a lot of creative ideas, like the pizza song that just won't fit with what we're doing, but they really need to get out there.
Dude, seriously, just release it as Corey's B-sides
It should be the hidden. It should be the hidden track at the very end
with that photo.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
I'm into it.
Yeah. Why not?
Funny.
Yeah.
Randy,
Jonathan?
you want to do a little wrap up? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
and there's one thing I want to mention. This was the first show that we've ever had that we almost had a full-on cat butt on the show.
Yeah, your cat Caitlin was taking all the screen. Yeah.
We
Oh.
almost had a full-on cat butt.
I had to look behind me because I'm like, I have two cats, so I had to check to see if they were like fighting behind me, and I didn't realize it because they do that. And there'll be like hairball, like puff balls flying in the air. Like my dog right now is eating a box. Let me see if I can. Like that.
Can't make that
been,
shit up.
This is my life right now. And then yeah, my cat's. Oh my God.
And you wonder why she keeps glancing over to the left.
Right? She's like, what is he doing now?
What? It's a fucking box. What?
At least it's not
like,
your. At least it's not your toddler eating the box. That's always my big concern with my kid.
I'm like,
If the pets are eating the box, that's fine. It's the kids that, yeah.
I'm like trying to keep like a straight face, and I'm like, it's just.
That's funny.
Okay. Just everything's everywhere right now. All bets are off.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I think that's about a wrap. I mean, go to the Facebook. One Stop Shop. You guys are working on the website. The new song out this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Let you go.
And if things work out as planned with the pizza song, the whole thing is about it's about the delivery man who's going to become like a serial killer, and it's going to spawn a new franchise.
Wow, he really has
It's a
thought
concept.
about this.
It'll be a concept album.
I love it.
Well, and then that's going to launch the movie. That's where all the money is. Pizza Man.
Yes.
That's what's going to fund Victoria Fire for years.
That's
to come.
right. I'm telling you,
you guys are great.
You guys
This is basically what practice becomes. So, you know,
Well, yeah,
if it takes us a while to put out new music, you know why.
Well, that's why I got mad about Caitlin saying it's about cheese pizza. No, it's about the delivery man. He's the pizza man. He's coming to kill you. It's not about the pizza. That's just the means for him to express
I
his.
know.
That was the Trojan horse.
That's right. Thank you.
Very deep.
They're ruining my vision.
I'm sorry.
We'll help you keep the dream alive.
The dream will stay alive until the pizza man gets you.
Yeah.
You guys can hang for just a second. Randy's going to play our little quick outro music.
Okay.
All righty.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yep. Stay here with us.
We bang your ugly friends too.